preps to pros and everything in between. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Young.
Welcome into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Young, Mo Patton, JP Plant with you here from the Lee Company studio, coming to you live from 1017 FM, WKOM, and 94.5 The Eagle, WZYX. Of course, we're on YouTube and Facebook. Twitter's coming, and there it is. We're also live on Twitter. Currently on sm-tnsports.com as well. You can always find the stream there. Mo, good afternoon. How are things?
Things are things. I mean, I can't hear myself in my earphones, but other than that, things are things.
Well, that's an unfortunate situation that we have found yourself in.
Yeah, well, I know I'm talking, so there it is. Yeah.
That's ideal. Yeah. Got a big show coming up today. We have quite the list of topics, including the Atlanta Braves, which the only thing we can do today is talk about the roster moves and the situation that they find themselves in as far as the NL East and such is concerned. We'll talk about Summertown football. We'll get to that in hour number 2. We'll start our SEC previews today, where we'll try to preview every team in the Southeastern Conference individually, much like we did with those conferences. But we'll try to get somebody on from each, a beat writer from each school, to talk a little bit about those teams. So we'll talk with Mitchell Forty today of PowerMizzou.com. Talk about the Tigers of the black and gold variety. We'll also visit with Chip Walters. We failed to do that yesterday due to some conflicts in scheduling. So we'll get the MTSU report in hour number 2 as well. It's also Top 5 Tuesday, where we will talk about our favorite top 5 sports broadcasters, and that meaning play-by-play / color analysts, etc. So, yeah, it's going to be a good show. Got a lot to get to, including our top stories for the day. And I bring this up only because anyone who knows me knows that I was always a fan of the Arena Football League, and former Arena Football League Commissioner David Baker once dubbed the NFL the No Fun League. And it appears that Roger Goodell is embracing that with a new taunting rule that will be, quote, strictly enforced. Basically saying you're not going to do any trash talking whatsoever.
Yeah, okay.
And if you do, it's 15 yards. How long does that last? What's the over-under on that?
I don't know if officials are going to call it.
That's that's I guess. I mean, it's a point of emphasis this year.
I just feel like that's the level of ridiculousness that you're dealing with there. I mean, one person's trash talk is another's,
celebration.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like those guys have better things to be worried about.
Well, it's almost like, when high school basketball officials became the uniform police. Well, you can't have a manufacturer's logo on the jersey. You can have one on your shorts, but not on the jersey. And then you can't have, your undershirt has to have stitches in it. It can't be, you can't be frayed on the end. Just every little thing. And this just seems like one of those trying to find something to make a point of emphasis because you have nothing else to make a point of emphasis.
Over officious.
No need for that. Just let me call the game, and if something happens that I feel is egregious, then I'll throw a flag. If not, I'm not gonna.
It reminds me of former Braves manager Bobby Cox. I don't like to have a whole lot of rules because then I got to enforce them.
And there's no need for it. I mean,
that's one that just doesn't need to be there to me.
I agree. I mean, it's not that the taunting rule is necessarily bad to have. I think there is a level of taunting that should be.
There are lines that don't need to be crossed.
Right.
But
strictly enforcing?
Right. Mm-hmm.
No, thank you. Anyway. Story number 2. I'm sure you're all going to be surprised that the University of Alabama has been voted number 1 in the college football coaches poll. I know, right? Number 2, surprisingly, Clemson. Who'd have thought it? Number 3. Who's number 3?
I bet it's an SEC team. Oh, almost.
Number 3, Oklahoma. Number 4, Ohio State. Number 5, Georgia. A&M, Notre Dame, Iowa State, North Carolina, Cincinnati round out the top 10. Surprised that Cincinnati's in there?
I don't know which I'm more surprised at, that Cincinnati's in there or that A&M is 6th.
Well, A&M was I mean, they kind of almost backdoored their way into the college football playoff last year. I mean, it had – remember, A&M only lost, one game last year, right?
To Alabama.
To Alabama. Yeah. So, I mean –
I'm just not sure that I expected them to be that highly thought of, this early on. Maybe it was a lack of attention on my part. I just didn't necessarily realize that they were quite that good this time around.
Here's the thing.
Speaking of A&M, you tweeted a list yesterday that a lot of Tennessee football fans would be
heartbroken to see? Yeah.
Shook to see. It was a list of the top 2022 draft eligible running backs. And I connect that to A&M because Isaiah Spiller was number 1.
Isaiah Spiller was number 1.
But
also on the list.
2 of the top 6 guys wore past tense, orange and white.
I'm surprised that Ty Chandler is ahead of Eric Gray in this situation.
I'm a little surprised at that too, and I think the former coaching staff would be as well.
I think anybody who watched Tennessee football over the last 2 years would be surprised.
But I don't,
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with Ty Chandler. I just think Eric Gray's a better running back.
Well, I guess it depends on what you're looking for.
I guess it does.
But, I mean, the fact is you had them both.
Both of them. Top 6. NFL draft running back, according to Mike Farrell, whoever he is.
Rivals 24/7.
Again.
Draft recruiting analyst who apparently continues to follow guys once they're no longer being recruited.
He's the Rivals godfather.
He's a relatively knowledgeable guy.
I'm just saying, I feel rough.
Understandably.
That one broke me. But
yeah. I mean, who is UT's number 1 running back?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll find out when we talk about UT in our SEC football previews.
Yes, please. And thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. This one we're going to kind of get into some.
Speaking of trash talking.
Yeah, I mean this would have been a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, under any degrees of enforcement, I think.
And I mean, I appreciate AJ Brown for putting it as nicely as he can.
It's right.
But you sent me the tweet. Tell me what it was again.
A Titans beat writer had made mention of the fact that, showed some video from practice yesterday that of Josh Reynolds, the receiver that the Titans acquired over the offseason from the Los Angeles Rams? Is that where they are now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. From the Rams. And makes
the likely number 3.
Yeah. Makes a comment that Josh Reynolds does not look explosive to me. And like I said, I guess he's got some video here. And A.J. Brown took exception to it. I'm going to say this as nice as I can. Nobody asked for your
expletive
deleted opinion. He's probably working through something like everyone else is in camp. I'll probably get in trouble for this, but I don't even care. Need to learn some respect fast. 2 exclamation points. I sure am glad AJ said it as nice as he could.
Yeah, I would have
because he could have said it a lot worse, obviously.
I would hate to have seen him say it as harshly as he could.
Yeah.
Or anywhere in between, to be honest with you. That was and well deserved. I mean, I know that that's what you're supposed to do.
I don't know. I don't know if that is what you're supposed to do. I mean, there are those that will tell you that.
Well,
I don't know.
It depends on what you're doing with your beat. Are you a shock jock? Are you a guy who's supposed to stir up some controversy? Are you a guy that's just trying to get
conveying
clicks?
information?
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. I don't know. Is Reynolds coming off some kind of a ham or a quad or something?
I don't know. I don't think he is, but he's been limited.
But as we sit here on, at the time, August 9th, and they've got a preseason game coming up this weekend against the Falcons, maybe it was not his intent on that particular play to be explosive.
That's possible.
Maybe he was not going full speed. Maybe, intentionally.
You just don't know.
You don't know. And we don't know. And my guess is he didn't know.
Yeah, that's the thing is you're trying to come up with something, especially when the top 2 wide receivers are not practicing.
Yeah, and to be fair, I've covered college preseason. I've covered spring training. Stories aren't always so easy to come up with. And I did it pre-Twitter.
Oh, and so that's the thing is even more so now because people are expecting something every hour. They want something from you on Twitter every hour, if not more often.
Sure.
So I get that. You're just trying to fill the space.
But at the same time, it's a fine line, I think, when you're starting to make judgments and air opinions because, worst case scenario, you get A.J. Brown being as nice as he can. And what happens when you decide to go to talk to A.J. and A.J. decides he doesn't want to talk to you because you've disrespected the receiver group?
There you go. That's
then what? And that's
the risk you run.
But then AJ's wrong for not talking.
I can't. Well, I guess that just depends on
who it is. And it's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic, and it's something that I think will bear paying attention to as we go.
Yeah, no question. All right, let's take a quick break. And before that, though, we obviously need to get to the rundown.
This is the rundown. This is your Tuesday Rundown brought to you by Jim Davis at Grow Live Give. Visit them at growlivegive.com or give them a call at 615-682-0022. Securities offered through IFP Securities, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, IFP member, FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through IFP Advisors, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, Registered Investment Advisor. IFP and Grow Live Give are not affiliated.
In Little League Southeast Regional Tournament play last night, Florida blanked Georgia 4-0 to advance to the championship game and secure a berth in the Little League World Series in Williamsport. Major League Baseball action on Monday, it was the Indians 9, the Reds 3. The White Sox defeated the Twins 11-1. The Yankees defeated the Royals 8-6, and it was San Diego 8, Miami 3.
In today's Major League Baseball action, the Reds are at the Braves. It's a 6:20 first pitch on Valley Sports South, or you can listen to it on our sister station 103.7 WKRM with a 5:05 pregame. The Blue Jays are also at the Angels tonight. It's a 9:07 first pitch on ESPN Plus. Supposed to be playing right now is the Little League World Series Southeast Regional Georgia and Tennessee. That's Midland, Georgia, and Nolensville. That game is, I assume, postponed because they're playing around the horn. So it's not on ESPN right now. It's supposed to be, so I'm assuming it is postponed at this particular moment. Also tonight, a scrimmage over at Columbia Central. The Lions will take on Tullahoma in a scrimmage. Anybody else around town?
Mount Pleasant goes to Waverly in a scrimmage. That scrimmage over at Central, I think the freshmen are supposed to go at 5:30 and varsity at 6:30-ish.
Gotcha.
Up on the hill, not in the stadium.
There you go. California and Nevada, Southern California and Nevada are playing on the West Coast, and they're in a 4-4 tie in the 8th. So I don't know if that has anything to do with the other side either. So anyway, that's it. That's your rundown on Southern Middle Tennessee sports today for Tuesday. I think Southern California just hit a 2-run homer in the top half of the 8th inning to go up 6-4.
Oh, so they were already in extras then, because they play 6, right?
Yeah, they were in extras, so there you go. All right, when we come back, more baseball, Braves, Reds, Sounds, all that. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. We'll be right back.
Ahoy! Yoo-hoo! Ahoy! 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 Ahoy!
In the name of the great Neptune, ahoy!
The tides can turn quick on the water. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered with basic plans starting at $100 a year. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Annual premium for a basic liability policy not available in all states. Prices vary based on how you buy.
The Delta variant is spreading fast. All this week, Stinchfield details calls for new lockdowns, more masks, and even vaccination mandates. Watch Stinchfield tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. He reveals the truth and the big dangers. Find Newsmax on all major cable systems like DirecTV, Dish, and Xfinity, or free on Samsung, Roku, Zumo, Pluto, and more. Also, download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone. Watch Stinchfield tonight. More than 30 million Americans are tuning into Newsmax because it's real news for real people.
Hi, I'm Robert Rogers at Parks Motor Sales Buick GMC.
And I'm Michael Parks Lawrence at Parks Motor Sales Buick GMC.
Together, we're Mr. Bobby Parks' grandsons, and we run his dealership, and we are glad to be part of our local community.
Being family owned and operated, we invest heavily in our community.
We do things like sports teams, schools, bands, you name it. We try to help everybody we can.
The reason why we do this is because we all love this community.
So come do business with us, your neighbors, at Parks Motor Sales in Columbia, Tennessee, right off Nashville Highway, or at parksmotorsales.com.
Are you thinking about a new fence? Maybe you need a pole barn. Then you should give Sands Fence Company a call. That's 931-309-1644. Will Sands has built his business based on the principles of honesty, quality, and integrity. Sands Fence Company has been in business for over 20 years, providing the community with farm, residential, and commercial fencing, as well as pole barns and buildings. Call today for a free estimate. Sands Fence Company, 931-309-1644. 931-309-1644.
Hi, I'm Steve, the garbage man. By now, you all know about Don, our service truck guy. Well, let me tell you about another member of our service team, and that's Mike Ashley. He's the guy you'll talk to when you call the office. Just call and talk to Mike one time at 931-540-0919, and you'll see why we're lucky to have him here at the Garbage Man. Thanks, Mike, for all you do to keep the Garbage Man first in service. That's 931-540-0919.
Why do people trust Tillis Jewelry with their jewelry repairs?
Hi, this is Terry Tillis. We feel each piece of jewelry is important to our customers, and they deserve the utmost care with every item that is brought to us. Your jewelry is inspected when we receive it to determine exactly what repairs are needed. A photo is taken and documented, and then it goes to our goldsmith. Once the repair is completed, the jewelry is re-inspected to make sure it has been restored to its original condition.
Come see us at Tillis Jewelry, located in Columbia and Lewisburg.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter, like the stair that only creaks when everyone else in the house is asleep. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call Davis Heating and Cooling at 931-388-2090 for all your home comfort needs. Davis Heating and Cooling is your local American Standard dealer and proudly serves the Murray County area. Find Davis Heating and Cooling online and on Facebook or call today, 388-2090.
For 40 years, Beck Dental Care has been the personalized and comfortable option for the health of your smile. The caring staff maintains a high level of safety protocols and attention to detail. Advanced technology provides your choice of sedation and the best of dental implant solutions to restore complete oral health. Open until 7 p.m. 2 nights a week. 931-388-8452. Beck Dental Care in Columbia, 1603 Rosewood Drive.
When the Braves play, Chris and Mo are talking about it.
Yeah, that's trash can juice.
Speak for yourself.
For better or worse, on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Back to the Lee Company studio. Yep, they're fans too. Here's Chris and Mo.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. It is time to talk a little Atlanta Braves. But first, we need to tell you about our friends at Jones & Lang Sporting Goods because they are the proud sponsor of this segment.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. So be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Now, as we talk about the Braves, obviously they did not play last night, so we have nothing to talk about on the game side, but plenty on the roster move side. As I just told you, there's been a Waskari Noah sighting inside Truist Park wearing a batting practice jersey, which probably means he's taking some swings.
Well, let's hope he is.
If he's on the roster, he is eligible to pinch hit at any point.
Yeah, which is a good sign. If he can pick up where he left off.
No doubt.
He's got one of their 10 Grand Slams this season.
That's a lot of Grand Slams. And it's so funny because, again, we've talked about this team so many times, how they are all or nothing. We either can't get a hit with runners in scoring position or we bring them all in once. One of the two. It's never anything else.
Yeah. But you know that Friday night, I think it was, when they beat Washington 8-4, they scored 8 runs without a home run, which has been a relative rarity for them this year to run up those kind of numbers and not go deep.
It's really a rarity in the game these days.
But it seems even more so for them than a lot of teams.
Maybe, and that may be true. It may just be because we watch the Braves more than we watch anybody else. I don't know, but Yeah, it does. But it also seems like every time we play somebody, it's 2 or 3 home runs. Yeah. So who knows?
What's crazy is they're the only team in the NL East with a positive run differential.
The Marlins did finally go down after that 8-3 loss last night to the Padres. So, yes, they are the only one in the NL East with a positive run differential. And it's a big one. It's like plus 68 or something.
Pretty significant. Yeah.
It's not like 4.
For a team that just got over 500 in the last week.
Yeah. It's insane. But the Huascar Ynoa sighting means that somebody had to go.
Well, it's not necessarily Huascar that was the reason somebody had to go, but somebody did go earlier today because A.J. Minter was added to the active roster. Noah has not been added yet.
That's right.
But
Minter was added after giving up 0 runs in Gwinnett. 0. 0.
Maybe he went down there and got fixed. We'll see soon enough because I'm sure we'll see him out there here at some point during this Cincinnati series. But making room for him on the roster, the Braves designated Shane Green for assignment. And full disclosure, I won't call Chris out, but I do know that when Shane Green was showing up at ball games and sitting in the stands, I was one of those that was like, why don't they sign this dude?
Here's what I'm going to say.
All right.
Yes, we were both on the Shane Green train. I do not put this solely on Shane Green. I think the fact that Alex Anthopoulos failed to sign him in the offseason, giving him the work that he probably needed through spring training and the first 2 months of the season, it didn't help. So, therefore, I'm not putting it all on Shane Green. That being said,
he didn't perform.
He did not perform. Again, if he's got 3 months to work through some stuff in, without wins and losses on the line, maybe there's a difference. I don't know. I'm just saying I'm not putting it solely on his shoulders, but it is. I mean, it's just as much his fault as Anthopoulos.
That's a fair assessment of the situation. But regardless of why he didn't perform, he didn't perform.
And
they were in a position where they
needed him to perform.
And they couldn't afford for him not to.
Right. They had to have it. I mean, that's why they signed it.
And still do.
Yeah, they needed.
And if they can't get it out of him, they got to get it somewhere because they still have to get that bullpen solidified, and you have to look no farther than Saturday night to see that.
Yeah, here's the thing:
you can't take a 2-run lead into the 9th and lose
against those guys.
Against that lineup, yeah,
right. That's the big issue is that it was against those guys, the AAA lineup.
I mean, if it's the Dodgers, if it's the Reds, the way they can hit the ball, yeah. But
I'm less
those
upset.
Guys, yeah.
But Riley Adams, not so much.
This guy,
yeah.
This guy, yeah.
And so, but you look at that bullpen right now in the bullpen, you've got Richard Rodriguez, you've got Luke Jackson, who's been pretty good. Chris Martin has been pretty good of late as well. You've got Will Smith and A.J. Minter. Those 5 right there, you should feel good about. If
varying degrees of feel good.
But just based on historical delivering and the way Luke Jackson has pitched this year, the way Chris Martin pitched last year, the way Will Smith has pitched in the past, Richard Rodriguez has been fantastic since he got here. You should say this bullpen, talent-wise, has the ability to be one of the best in the major leagues.
Right now, I feel like if you went Luke Jackson, Chris Martin, Richard Rodriguez in the 7th, 8th, 9th, you got to like your chances. I don't think that's what we're going to see anytime soon. I think we're still going to continue to see Will Smith on the back end.
You're going to see Rodriguez in the 6th or 7th. You're going to see Martin or Jackson in the 8th and 9th, or 8th, and then you're going to see Smith in the 9th because that's who Brian Snitker is. he's Mr. Loyalty. Results be damned. We're going to be loyal to our kids. Whatever. I think it's a positive sometimes for position players.
I think it's more of a positive for position players than it is for pitchers.
But it's not good for pitchers.
Because there's, unfortunately, typically more riding on that situation.
Well, not just that, but you have 162 times to go out and
try to win a ball
fix
game.
it.
Yeah.
If you're a closer, you've got 41 attempts out of 110. So right at a third. You're out there a third of the time, not every single day. That's why it's not the best way to handle pitchers, in my opinion. But as we all know, who are we and what do we know?
Yeah, well, I know that Will Smith makes things a lot harder than they have to be.
So does Luke Jackson, but Luke Jackson can get out of it apparently.
Well, and even in the worst case scenario, there's chances to overcome Luke Jackson.
It's true.
The chances to overcome it when Will Smith, spits the bit aren't as plentiful, which is what kind of magnifies the whole thing, which is why I'd really like to see Richard Rodriguez get a save opportunity and see what happens.
I agree. Braves history. August 10th, 2003, despite the 12th unassisted triple play in Major League Baseball history, the Braves dropped a 3-2 decision at St. Louis. With runners at first and second and no outs in a 1-1 game, shortstop Rafael Furcal went up the ladder to grab a line drive by Cardinal starting pitcher Woody Williams, stepped on second before Mike Matheny could get back, and tagged an advancing Orlando Palmeiro to end the fifth inning. Furcal went on to score the go-ahead run in the seventh on the Gary Sheffield sacrifice fly, but home runs by Eduardo Perez and Albert Pujols in the eighth decided the outcome. John Smoltz, out of the pen, took the loss for the Braves. Nashville native Martin Methodist Athletic Hall of Famer Chuck Merriweather umpiring first base for that game. Yeah.
It's always a local angle.
I was about to say, there's always a local angle. Go with it. Anytime you get a chance. That is this day in Braves history. Tonight, the Sounds open up a road series with the Louisville Bats. The Bats coming in 32-51. Sounds 49-35. It's a 5:30 first pitch at Louisville Slugger Field.
Yeah. Josh Lindblom gets the start for the Sounds, 3-1 with a 1.37 ERA. The bat starter has not been named, or at least it was not available on NashvilleSounds.com. Meanwhile, the Brewers lost 4-2 in the opening game of a doubleheader at Wrigley Field. Game 2 starter for the Brewers will be Aaron Ashby, going against former Montgomery Central standout Alec Mills for the Cubs. Big game for Mr. Ashby in his second Major League appearance, I believe. Is that right?
I think so. And hopefully this one goes better than his last one. It wasn't great last time. I think he's going to be a very solid big league pitcher once he gets up there and stays up there for a while.
It's tough. I mean,
yeah.
Especially, and it will be tough tonight because he's battling what he did his last time out against, I start to say against these same Cubs, but that's not necessarily the case
that's
either.
not necessarily the case at all.
As we were talking about the Nationals earlier, I mean, no Rizzo, no Bryant, no Baez. Who else is gone? I think that's it as far as bats. Kimbrel is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay. Sounds, by the way, are second in the AAA Southeast standings at 49-35. Durham is 55-28. There's no playoffs, so it really doesn't matter, but as long as they're keeping standings, you want to be at the top of them.
But speaking of, I'm not sure they've even played Durham this year. I don't remember them having played Durham to this point. And I'm not. Maybe they have, but I don't think they have. They certainly haven't played them in Nashville.
They've not played them here, no.
So,
because we would have remembered that.
Right. I mean, that's a game I'm going to. So anyway,
Let's see. Hang on a minute. If we have the time to hang on a minute, because my computer's a little slow. But I'm trying to scroll through their game by game here real quick. If we don't have time, that's fine.
Let's just get to it on the other side. What do you say? We'll find it in the break and tell them. 4-2 win on Sunday over Toledo. Ended that homestand, but
they have not played.
There you go.
Either place.
When we come back, it is Mitchell 40 of PowerMizzou.com talking Missouri football. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Be right back right after this.
One-stop shopping. That's why so many people shop Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat of Columbia. As the #1 volume CDJR dealer in Tennessee, we offer the largest selection of new Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler vehicles. And when you have the largest selection of new, you have the largest selection of used, too. Combine that with state-of-the-art, fast, accurate service, and you've got Tennessee's #1 volume dealer. Shop online at Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Columbia.net. Middle Tennessee's Ram Truck and Jeep headquarters. You can count on us. Based on combined retail and fleet sales as awarded by Chrysler in the state of Tennessee in 2019.
Hello, I'm Barbara Lincoln with Hollins Pharmacy. You may have heard our previous commercials about compression hosiery that we carry at Hollins Pharmacy. Well, we've recently expanded into a full line of knee braces, back, wrist, ankle, and other support wear. We will gladly help you get just the right fit for these items and, of course, special order items to ensure the proper fit. Come see us at Hollins Pharmacy, 1608 Hatcher Lane, or call us at 931-388-4233. 388-4233.
If you come to Arby's from 2 to 5 p.m., you can get sliders for $1. For another $1, you can get a small drink or fries or a snack shake. And for the low price of another $1, you can round out this afternoon snack with warm cookies. It's really a meal at this point, but call it a snack. That way, you can come back for dinner. Arby's, we have the meat.
Dollar price valid for small fries and drinks, snack shakes, and classic sliders. Available at participating locations for a limited time.
Hey folks, this is Chandler Anderson from the Right Care Clinic located in front of Walmart. We've been open 11 years there now, and 11 seems to be our magic number. We open at 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and we're open 7 days a week to make sure that you get the right care you need. Come on by and see Caitlin, Kim, and Robert, and they'll get you the right care. Remember, we were there for you during COVID. We never shut our doors. Right Care Walk-In Clinic located in front of Walmart, open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week. Remember, folks, we stay late so you don't wait.
Serving Murray County for 40 years, the Jewelers Bench has provided the highest quality jewelry at the very best prices. They work hard to make their customers happy, and it's paid off. Their customers keep going back. Quality jewelry, custom vintage and estate pieces, and professional jewelry and watch repairs. We offer jewelry loans up to $4,500, and we will buy your gold. The Jewelers Bench, still here, still the same. 808 Trotwood Avenue, Columbia.
Terrence here at Shepherd Lumberyard, where we value you, the customer. We've been serving Columbia and surrounding areas since 1946. We're located in our new location at 103 Cemetery Avenue. Anything that has to do with building or remodeling, we're here to assist. When you shop local, you help shape the community. We are locally owned, family owned, and veteran owned. And by the way, God is in charge. You can reach us at 931-388-3612, and our website is shepherdlumberyard@yahoo.com.
Hey, this is Derek Ransom with 10 Pin Alley, voted #1 family entertainment center in Murray County. We offer 32 bowling lanes, giant arcade, laser tag, bumper cars, and a full cafe and bar menu. We also specialize in group events, kids and adult birthday parties, company parties, sports team parties, and holiday parties. We're located at 322 East James Campbell Boulevard in Columbia. Call us today at 931-381-BOWL or visit us at 10pin.com. 10 Pin Alley, it's where the good times roll.
This is Lee Maddox, voice of the Columbia Central High Lions football. We are excited for our 75th year of broadcasting Lions football on WKRM 103.7 and 1340 AM. Join us this Friday, August 13th at Lindsey Nelson Stadium for the Murray County Jamboree presented by First Farmers. Columbia Academy will face Good Pasture at 6 p.m., followed by Spring Hill and Dixon County at 7, and at 8 p.m. your Columbia Lions will face Creekwood. That's this Friday, August 13th at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, the Murray County Jamboree presented by First Farmers.
covering the teams you care about. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Once again, live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Getting ready to kick off our Southeastern Conference football previews as we will make our way around the current Southeastern Conference landscape, as we have already talked Oklahoma, Texas.
Ad nauseum.
We have, in fact. So we start today talking a little bit about the Black and Gold Tigers, former colleagues of the Oklahoma and Texas teams out in the Big 12, but now, and have been for a while, members of the Southeastern Conference, despite playing in the East Division of the Southeastern Conference, being the second westernmost school in the conference. I guess
are they farther west than Arkansas?
It's probably close.
It's very close.
It's probably close.
Yes. Our guests might know.
Probably so. We are joined on the show today by PowerMizzou.com's Missouri beat writer and Brooks' brother, Mitchell Forty. Mitchell, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
That's not the first time you've heard that, is it, Brooks' brother?
Oh, absolutely not. No, I mean that's been a lot lately, but it's been I've been on.
Is she home yet?
Yeah, she got home about a week ago, a little less actually. Yeah, about a week ago.
Oh wow, okay. So she's finally over the jet lag. We've got a friend who was over there covering it, and that's been her thing, trying to get caught up.
Yeah, I think she's finally recovered. I know it was like Brook 40 day at the pools we grew up swimming at yesterday, so she got to sign autographs and stuff, which obviously she was happy to do. But I think she was able to do that without falling asleep.
That's ideal.
For those who may be unaware, Mitchell's sister, Brooke 40, took silver in the 4x2 freestyle relay over in Tokyo here not too long ago. So congratulations to her and to y'all's family, Mitchell. I know that's got to be a great honor for y'all.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much. It was really a dream to watch. Obviously, the Olympics are kind of the height of swimming, so that's always the dream. And so to see her get to do it was pretty cool.
Mitchell, we wanted to have you on talk a little Missouri football because, well, we don't know much about it. I'm just going to be honest with you. We haven't kept up with Missouri since the last time they were in the SEC championship game. So, seriously, though, this team with Eli Drinkwitz at the helm is certainly going to be no shortage of headlines because Coach Drinkwitz is, well, he's pretty opinionated, huh?
Yeah, and not so much that he's opinionated. I think he's just kind of mischievous, and he likes to talk. I think the media days was his type of deal, where he's happy to take some jabs at people. He likes to he likes to stir things up. He's got just an outgoing personality by nature. He's always energetic, always effervescent, always looking to talk. So he's he's an entertaining coach to cover in that regard. Certainly the fans have enjoyed it. I think especially, the last two coaches haven't had a whole lot of personality. So I think that's helped build some excitement around the program, and I don't expect it to change anytime soon.
Yeah. So I think I saw during SEC Media Days that the intramural team he played on while he was in school at Arkansas Tech was Spurrier's boys, and he unleashed a couple of Spurrier-like quips down in Hoover. So definitely kind of got himself on the radar there, I guess, at his first SEC Media Days, actually.
Yeah, you can kind of actually see some of the Spurrier tendencies. Obviously, he's a big Spurrier fan. That's why he named his flag football team that. But, he wears the visor, offensive coach, and definitely is not afraid to slip some one-liners in there.
Yeah, Mitchell, I know this is his second year now, and first-year coaches at the collegiate level last year in the middle of the pandemic and that kind of thing. It was really tough covering college football anyway. What have you learned? How close have you been able to get to him, here over the last few months since protocols kind of loosened up as far as that went?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely weird last year. I met him in person maybe 2 times before everything got shut down, and there was a point after there was some coaching staff turnover earlier this offseason. There was a point where I had only met one of the assistant coaches in person ever. But over the past few weeks, we've been able to do some in-person interviews, get to see a little bit of a couple camp practices in the first few minutes and talk to some players and some coaches. So, getting a better grasp about the team.
Tell me a little bit about how much Missouri will lean on senior running back in Memphis native. Is it Beatty, Tyler Beatty? Batty?
Mm-hmm. Beatty.
Beatty? Okay. Tell us how important is he going to be to this team? Because obviously the Warfel Trophy watch list, that's a big honor there. So he's got to be an important part.
I think he's got a chance to play a pretty big role. He's always been kind of a change of pace back, and last year Missouri really relied on Larry Roundtree III. He was their workhorse. He carried the ball 21 times a game, which is obviously a lot in football. So, and Beatty was just kind of a third down, change of pace, receiving back, and that's the way he's been for his first 3 years. He's really kind of bided his time, and I think this year he definitely is going to be the featured guy. I don't think he'll carry the ball quite as often as Larry Roundtree. He's not quite big enough, I think, to stand up to quite that level of workload, but I think he'll touch the ball, 15, 16 times a game, something like that, and he'll have a chance to really show what he can do and, audition for the next level.
As I look over this schedule, I think, obviously they open with Central Michigan, and then it's pretty quick into SEC play with a road trip to Kentucky, and this Kentucky team has been tough for the past couple of years. What's kind of the thought process for fans and for this team getting into SEC play so quickly?
Yeah, I think that Kentucky game will be a very big game as far as morale for the rest of the season and kind of a measuring point for what this team could be. There's still some questions out there. I mean, we only have a 10-game sample size of Mizzou under Drinkwitz, and so much of last year was just ridiculous. I mean, they played a couple games with about 50 scholarship players. They had some other games played where the opponent had 50 scholarship players. They had I think maybe 7 of the 10 games moved from the original date they were supposed to play that opponent. The LSU game was supposed to be in Baton Rouge, ended up being played in Columbia because of a hurricane. It was just a ridiculous season. So I think there's a sense of, question. There's a lot of optimism out there, certainly among the fans, but just, how good can this team be this year under Drinkwitz? And I think that'll be a really, really quick and important measuring stick against Kentucky. One of the reasons Barry Odom was let go is his team's lost to Kentucky 5 years in a row, and he let Drinkwitz reverse that trend last year. But Kentucky's a solid team. They've been consistently among the top 3 or 4 teams in the East under Mark Stoops, and I think that the first step for Missouri to get where they want to be, which is among those, probably top 3 teams in the SEC, is to be consistently better than Kentucky. So that's a good opportunity right there early in the season to kind of see what this team can be.
And I would guess, Mitchell, that one of the reasons for optimism around this program is you're returning the quarterback. I mean, particularly in an offense like Eli Drinkwitz wants to run, having a returner like a Connor Bazelak really gets things going in the right direction.
Yeah, I think, if Missouri's going to be what a lot of the fans want them to be this year, it's going to be because Connor Bazelak takes that next step. And there's reason to believe he can do that. He played pretty well last year considering the circumstances. He was a redshirt freshman. He had torn his ACL in the very last game of 2019. So he was rehabbing pretty much all off season. They tapped TCU transfer Sean Robinson to start ahead of him. He replaced Sean Robinson in the second game of the year and then kept the starting job from there. But, definitely he's open about the fact that he hadn't seen all these defenses before. He was seeing things for the first time on the field. So he was pretty conservative. He had a good completion percentage, but only threw 7 touchdowns, didn't throw the deep ball very well. So I think there's reason to believe that, him having a full off season as the guy and working with Drinkwitz, he could definitely improve in those areas. I think the receiving corps should be a little bit better this year than last year as well, which can help. But especially with Larry Roundtree gone, as I mentioned, he was kind of the feature of Missouri's offense. They're going to need the passing game to take that next step. They're going to need Bazelak to be able to connect on some deeper balls just to kind of loosen things up for the rest of the offense.
Got a chance to build some momentum because after that Central Michigan and Kentucky game, you've got SEMO, you go to Boston College, and then you get Tennessee coming to y'all's place. I mean, it's conceivable that you guys could be 6-0 or even 7-0 heading into A&M in mid-October.
Yeah, there's definitely some talk of that. I think, Kentucky and at Boston College, both in the first 4 weeks, are two certainly tough games. And I would be surprised if they win both of those, but it's certainly not impossible. Like you said, it's conceivable that they could be 6-0 before the schedule really ramps up with A&M, Georgia, and Florida all in the latter half there. But, that's part of the reason for some of the optimism is the schedule is not overly difficult. You've got those three teams, A&M, Florida, and Georgia, all probably top 10 teams. But other than that, I don't think you'll have, a team ranked in the preseason top 25 on Missouri's schedule.
But none of those back-to-back. You get Vandy after A&M, South Carolina after Georgia, and then you play Florida before you finish with Arkansas. So that's – like you said, a manageable schedule in the first half for sure to set you up for a good second half.
Yeah, I think so, and especially after last year, the 10-game SEC schedule, getting LSU and Alabama added to the normal slate, I think that'll be welcome. No question. Hey, man, Mitchell Forde, we really appreciate your time and your insight into Missouri football. Looking forward to this season. Thank you so much for taking some time with us today, man. Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. That's Mitchell Forde of PowerMizzou.com.
What's his Twitter handle? You know what?
I do, in fact, have his Twitter handle available to you. It is at Mitchell 4D. 4, number 4.
D.
Letter D.
The letter D. Okay.
Mitchell 4D, like 4 dimensions.
So if you want to check out some Mizzou football, check out at Mitchell 4D.
And PowerMizzou.com.
There you go.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's Chip Walters with Middle Tennessee State update. So stick around, talk a little Blue Raiders on the other side of the top of the hour on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be right back right after this.
$1 trillion plan moves forward. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. President Biden commending the Senate after today's passage of a major infrastructure bill.
America's often had the greatest prosperity and made the most progress when we invest in America itself. And that's what this infrastructure bill does.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell among a number of Republicans joining Democrats in supporting passage of the measure, which would provide almost $550 billion in new spending for roads, bridges, broadband internet, water pipes, and other public works systems. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo today announcing he is resigning amid accusations he sexually harassed at least 11 women.
Cuomo did say while his behavior was insensitive, too familiar, and forward, he does believe this is political and that this demonization of behavior is unsustainable. His resignation is effective in 14 days.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. A tropical cyclone is likely to hit Florida this weekend.
Potential tropical cyclone number 6 is very likely to become Tropical Storm Fred today. It's already prompting watches and warnings in the Caribbean, notably in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. The predicted path shows it reaching the Florida Keys by early Saturday morning, but the margin of error in that forecast means Fred could be anywhere in South Florida by then. The storm is not expected to reach hurricane status as of now.
Fox's Eben Brown. A prosecutor says a man charged with killing a Chicago police officer admitted to investigators that he pulled his handgun out of his waistband during a traffic stop and opened fire. Officer Ella French was killed and another officer critically injured. During a bond hearing today, a judge ordered 21-year-old Monty Morgan held without bond on charges including first-degree murder and attempted murder. Police stopped the SUV Morgan was in because of expired plates. America's listening to Fox News.
Running a business shouldn't have to mean running to the post office. Skip the trip and handle it all from your home or office with Stamps.com. Join the nearly 1 million businesses using Stamps.com. Get discounts up to 40% off post office rates and now up to 66% off UPS shipping rates. Go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone, and enter code FOX for a 4-week trial, plus free postage and an easy-to-use digital scale. Sign up at Stamps.com. Click the microphone and enter code FOX. That's Stamps.com, code FOX.
One of Jeffrey Epstein's longtime accusers is suing Britain's Prince Andrew, filing a lawsuit in New York City accusing him of sexually assaulting her when she was 17. The woman claims she had sex with the prince 3 times after being trafficked to him by Epstein. Prince Andrew denies the accusations and has said he had no recollection of meeting her. Belarus responds to news it's facing sanctions from several countries.
Hours after Britain imposed a new round of sanctions on Belarus, the Belarusian president pushed back. Alexander Lukashenko said, "You can choke on those sanctions. You are America's lapdogs." The US and Canada also announced new sanctions to mark 1 year since Lukashenko was returned to office in a disputed election. The Western countries accuse him of widespread rights abuses. In London, Simon Owen, Fox News.
A U.S. peace envoy was back in the Middle East today, warning the Taliban not to pursue a military victory on the ground and delivering a blunt message: the Taliban government that comes to power through force in Afghanistan will not be recognized. The envoy making the comments in Doha, Qatar, where the Taliban maintain a political office. Another retailer is offering hiring incentives.
Dollar Tree is hosting a nationwide hiring event on Saturday and will pay a $1,000 signing bonus with the opportunity of incentive pay. Dollar Tree says it needs full and part-time order fillers, maintenance technicians, warehouse associates, and other employees. The event is being held at all 26 of its U.S. distribution centers. Dollar Tree also started a program that allows workers to be paid between traditional paydays, and it has an education assistance plan. Jenny Cosolda, Fox News.
I'm Rich Dennison, and this is Fox News.
A lot of my friends basically went to work for the cartels right off the bat.
Ed Calderon spent his career confronting Mexico's ruthless drug cartels face to face.
Nightly raids on different houses and places where people were suspected of storing drugs.
The former paramilitary law enforcement officer was born and raised in what he calls one of the most heavily trafficked cities on the planet, Tijuana.
The vehicle carrying this man.
Oh, whale! Guys, whale! Wow, whale. Oh, that's a big whale. Okay. Whale, whale, whale. Oh no, whale!
The tides can turn quick on the water. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered. Get a quote today in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com.
Well, at least it wasn't a shark, am I right?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Roofing isn't something you think about until you need it. When you do, let Roof Systems Inc. be your first call. Roof Systems Inc. is locally owned and has been providing excellent service since 1983. From repairing roofs on small homes or installing new roofs for large commercial retailers, no job is too big or too small. Why choose Roof Systems Inc.? Well, in our customers' words, best experience I've had with construction-related business. Honest, professional, friendly, and affordable. Call today, 931-398-5977. That's 931-398-5977. To the two-tone blue, covering the teams you care about. It's only on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, as we get set to begin hour number 2 of this Tuesday show. Thank you for listening on WKOM 101.7 FM, WZYX 94.5 The Eagle. Watching on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, sm-tnsports.com, wherever you may be watching, we appreciate you as well. Thank you all for tuning in as we get ready to talk about the Blue Raiders. I'm sure we will talk quite a bit of football, but to do that, we're going to need some help. And that help will come in the form of the voice of the Blue Raiders, Mr. Chip Walters, who we hope is finishing up selling some houses. Chip, what's up?
Well, just trying to get one on the market, later in the week. But so wrapped up, I'm back in the car heading across town. So
it's always good.
How are you guys today?
Heading across town in Murfreesboro?
Yes.
Oh, you have my sympathies. I've tried to get across town in Murfreesboro this time of day, and it's not fun.
I may take a back road or two here to get from point A to point B.
Whatever works, man. Whatever works. Hey, I understand you were in the Dimple over the weekend.
I was. Roger White has his retirement soiree was on Sunday afternoon at the Memorial Building, and it was good to see Roger and Anita for a little bit, and just ran into all kinds of other folks that were either classmates or folks I went to high school with that were, or folks I've known all my life, and it was good to kind of run into some of those, including I got to give a shout out to Miss Nancy Cartwright, Jim Cartwright's wife. It was so good to see Miss Nancy, and she's doing well, and we had a nice little conversation, but yeah, it was there. It was Roger's day, and and he deserved a day like that for a lot of years spent, teaching, coaching, and then administrating, and he was a big part of the driving force to have the beautiful building that is there now, and a lot of the ideas of design ideas that harken back to not only the school that was just torn down, but to the one that was on West 8th Street. And, and it ties a lot of generations together. And I think, it's a beautiful place. But, as time marches on, we all go in different directions. And Roger got his just a great Sunday afternoon with a lot of friends, family, and those who just care. So it was fun.
That's great. There's not too many people that care more about their alma mater than Roger White does about Columbia Central. So, as you said, it's great for him to have a day like that and be recognized by the community. And they don't come any better than Miss Cartwright. I can't call her Nancy. I'm sorry.
I tell you, she's just the best. And we ran into, Roger's dad, Dale, and, and Herky Kinzer, and they were all kind of over in one corner telling tales and all that, and ran into Cat Ballou and his wife Paula, and, just a lot of friends. So it was a lot of fun.
Talked to Vance late last week, I guess it was. He was planning on coaching the boys and girls golf teams again this year at Central, and he was telling me that he had stepped back from that. Obviously, he had some health concerns over the summer and has decided to step away from that. So hope he was doing well this weekend. Hoping he's continuing to do well.
Yeah, I think he and Paula went out of town for a day or so and had a good time, and he had a big smile on his face because he was seeing, he and I were both, getting to enjoy visiting with a lot of good folks.
That's great. That's great. Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders, with us here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Chip, catch us up. It's been a while.
Well,
it's been 8 days now, not just 7.
Oh, like the Beatles said, 8 days a week. And here we are. But, football practice got underway Friday with the first practice, and they have been in shorts, and they've added shoulder pads. Today could have, and I apologize for not knowing 100%, but today could have been the first day in pads. But Coach Stock has been seemed to be very happy with of what he's seeing or on the offensive side, and he has not and will not say that anybody has garnered the starting job yet. But, you've got Bailey Hockman, who, I think a lot of people expect that to be granted to him. He's going to have to earn it because Chase Cunningham is a guy who is not going to give it away for free and has been a quality backup for 3 years now. And Chase, you look at Chase and, my gosh, he's gotten bigger and stronger, and he's got some savvy about him and some experience. And so that's only going to make everybody better. You've got Mike DeLello, who played a little bit last year, but and plus they're having to, they had to they did what they call their installs during spring, and then during the summer, it's the wait staff that gets to talk to them, and if they're going to do any throwing or whatever, they're kind of on their own. And so from what I hear, Brent Dearman is pretty happy with what his guys are doing on offense. I saw some tape of Scott Schaefer, the defensive coordinator, and he has said he is extremely happy with where the defensive guys. They came back ready to go. Are they where they want to be on September 4th? No. But he said, they went out there the first day and he started to kind of go back through step one of the install, and his defensive lineman said, "Coach, we got this part. Let's move on." So he goes, "All right, we'll see." And so they ran a drill or whatever. He goes, "Yeah, y'all got it." So, they were a little farther down the road than he had expected them to be, which that's a good thing. And he said he had a lot of leadership out of his defensive linemen, and also, when you got good folks on the front end, and then you got folks like Blankenship and Great in the secondary, you're going to be pretty good. And I think he feels like this defense has a chance to make a great leap from a year ago.
A great leap. I see what you did there, Chip. I'm surprised, though, to hear so much happiness out of the coaching staff so early in the preseason. I mean, typically those guys find something to not be happy with.
Oh, well, they obviously did that. I mean, but I think from when they talked about an effort and an enthusiasm standpoint, there, I think after last year and being cooped up and confined, and hopefully cross our fingers that we head down continue to head down a good path. That I think everybody's bouncing around, and the people that they have added, you've got almost everybody coming back. Most everybody that was that made major contributions a year ago, almost everybody is back. Now you add in the group that they brought in through the transfer portal, and also incoming freshmen and JUCOs, and what they have done is up the level of competition at almost every position, and that includes everything from offensive line to I don't know how much I think they know who their kicker and punter are going to be, but outside of that, you've got a stable of running backs, and all of them are going to want to get their hands on the football, and wide receivers want to get their self the football. So how do you do that? Well, you gain the trust of quarterbacks and coaches at this time of year. So I think that makes for good reps in practice.
Chip, have you mentioned the kicker and punter situation? I think that's certainly a point of positiveness from the Blue Raider side, considering that the Ray Guy watch list is keeping an eye on your kicker.
Yeah, I mean, with punter Kyle Ulbrich, and I look back, and Kyle averaged about 43 yards a kick a year ago, but he has, when it comes off his foot, and Mo will recognize this reference, it doesn't look like a Jim Arnold punt coming off of his foot. But Kyle has the ability. He's a great directional punter. He had one that went 75 yards last year because he, had it skip down the sidelines and things like that. But
you like that direction.
Yeah, you like the directional stuff, and he does just a really good job of pinning people into corners, trying to kick the ball into it where a returner has to bring it out of a corner, things like that. Use the sideline as an extra defender, those kind of things. And there will be a new place kicker this year, and they have a transfer from Charleston Southern who was 3 for 4 outside of 50 last year. He was a freshman All-American 2 years ago, so he'll come in, and I think his last name is Ussery. I will know it by the time we play, I promise. But he is from Charleston Southern, and again, freshman All-American in the FCS level. But his numbers show consistency, and at every stop on the Blue Raider Blitz, Coach Stock would just simply say, I hope he is what I think he is. And so we will leave it at that. But I think they feel like they're in good hands in both situations.
Chip, as you talk about the quarterback situation with the returning erstwhile backup Chase Cunningham, and with Bailey Huckman transferring in from NC State, I would imagine that's going to be a particularly tough call, just from the standpoint that Brent Dearman doesn't have a history with either of those guys.
Well, and I think if I'm just I'm trying to play the psychology game here. If I'm Chase Cunningham, and here comes, and I'm using air quotes here. Mm-hmm. Here comes the hot shot from NC State.
Exactly.
That I feel, since neither one of us have a history with him, I'm saying if I'm Chase, well, I can go out there and win this job.
Exactly.
And where, fans may think, oh, well, it's an automatic because Bailey is from NC State and that kind of thing. And yes, he has good experience, helped lead them to a bowl game a year ago and had a really good year. He's been close talking about the atmosphere around practice over the weekend as it got underway. It's fun when you have guys who are competing that are also really good friends. And he was welcomed in to the program by Chase Cunningham. And here they are, battling and competing for the starting job. And that will only make the football team better.
That is the most important part, making the football team better. I mean, at this point, that's goal number one. So
that's correct. And so, and after a tough year last year, and I keep saying I sound a little bit like a broken record, is what I see from Coach Stockstill. I know he's happy to have Brent, his son, back on the staff, and I think he's very excited about what Brent Dearman is bringing to the table as the offensive coordinator. And so I think all of that, just the whole package right now, he's as excited going into a season as I've seen out of him in many, many years.
It's going to be fun. Media predicted you guys to finish 5th in that East Division, so certainly going to use that for some
there will be a chip on the shoulder.
Bulletin board material, no doubt. Chip.
Well, they say they never use it, but we all know they do.
Sure.
So that's just, and they say they don't read the media, but then they quote it chapter and verse. So
it's funny how that works.
Yeah, it's impressive. Chip, we appreciate your time, man. Thanks so much, and we look forward to talking to you again next week.
All right. It'll have maybe just a 6-day week before we talk next time.
Maybe.
That would be good. Chip,
see you guys.
Have a good rest of the week. We'll talk to you.
All right, Chip Walters, voice of the Blue Raiders, joining us here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. We're going to come back and talk a little. We're going to keep it in the blue. We'll talk Summertown.
Mm-hmm.
So stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, returns to the Lee Company studio right after this.
Ahoy! Yoo-hoo! Ahoy! 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 Ahoy!
In the name of the great Neptune, ahoy!
The tides can turn quick on the water. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered with basic plans starting at $100 a year. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Annual premium for a basic liability policy not available in all states. Prices vary based on how you buy.
The Delta variant is spreading fast. All this week, Stinchfield details calls for new lockdowns, more masks, and even vaccination mandates. Watch Stinchfield tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. He reveals the truth and the big dangers. Find Newsmax on all major cable systems like DirecTV, Dish, and Xfinity, or free on Samsung, Roku, Zumo, Pluto, and more. Also, download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone. Watch Stinchfield tonight. More than 30 million Americans are tuning into Newsmax because it's real news for real people.
Hi, I'm Robert Rogers at Parks Motor Sales Buick GMC.
And I'm Michael Parks Lawrence at Parks Motor Sales Buick GMC.
Together, we're Mr. Bobby Parks' grandsons, and we run his dealership, and we are glad to be part of our local community.
Being family owned and operated, we invest heavily in our community.
We do things like sports teams, schools, bands, you name it. We try to help everybody we can.
The reason why we do this is because we all love this community.
So come do business with us, your neighbors, at Parks Motor Sales in Columbia, Tennessee, right off Nashville Highway, or at parksmotorsales.com.
Are you thinking about a new fence? Maybe you need a pole barn. Then you should give Sands Fence Company a call. That's 931-309-1644. Will Sands has built his business based on the principles of honesty, quality, and integrity. Sands Fence Company has been in business for over 20 years, providing the community with farm, residential, and commercial fencing, as well as pole barns and buildings. Call today for a free estimate. Sands Fence Company, 931-309-1644. 931-309-1644.
Hi, I'm Steve, the garbage man. By now, you all know about Don, our service truck guy. Well, let me tell you about another member of our service team, and that's Mike Ashley. He's the guy you'll talk to when you call the office. Just call and talk to Mike one time at 931-540-0919, and you'll see why we're lucky to have him here at the Garbage Man. Thanks, Mike, for all you do to keep the Garbage Man first in service. That's 931-540-0919.
Why do people trust Tillis Jewelry with their jewelry repairs?
Hi, this is Terry Tillis. We feel each piece of jewelry is important to our customers, and they deserve the utmost care with every item that is brought to us. Your jewelry is inspected when we receive it to determine exactly what repairs are needed. A photo is taken and documented, and then it goes to our goldsmith. Once the repair is completed, the jewelry is re-inspected to make sure it has been restored to its original condition.
Come see us at Tillis Jewelry, located in Columbia and Lewisburg.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter, like the stair that only creaks when everyone else in the house is asleep. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call Davis Heating and Cooling at 931-388-2090 for all your home comfort needs. Davis Heating and Cooling is your local American Standard dealer and proudly serves the Murray County area. Find Davis Heating and Cooling online and on Facebook or call today, 388-2090.
For 40 years, Beck Dental Care has been the personalized and comfortable option for the health of your smile. The caring staff maintains a high level of safety protocols and attention to detail. Advanced technology provides your choice of sedation and the best of dental implant solutions to restore complete oral health. Open until 7 p.m. 2 nights a week. 931-388-8452. Beck Dental Care in Columbia, 1603 Rosewood Drive.
Talking high school sports, here's Mo and Chris.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Happy to have you guys along with us here on this Tuesday afternoon. Very hot Tuesday afternoon. 105 heat index earlier today, guys. 105. That's hot. I mean, that's real hot. Like, I don't even know if I can remember the last time I was that hot.
I rarely look at the numbers.
Well, when I got out of the car here,
oh yeah, it was steamy.
It felt like way hotter than when I left my house at 2:00 or whatever time.
Yeah,
it was wild.
It's
I mean,
steamy.
Tough out there, folks. And as you were mentioning, it has resulted in an unfortunate situation.
Unfortunately, looking across Twitter a little bit ago, we came across the news of a Virginia Union freshman football player who collapsed at Sunday conditioning and died. Quandarius Wilburn, a 6'2", 230-pound defensive end out of Georgia, Wadley, Georgia, graduated from Jefferson County High School in, I guess it's Louisville, Georgia, but
probably.
Again, he collapsed during a conditioning session at Virginia Union University in Richmond. Was taken to VCU Medical Center where he later died. So, football team had spent had spent a full day together, breakfast, church, and lunch before the workout. And you just hate to hear this kind of thing, but it happens. And I saw something over the weekend. There was some type of a documentary, I think, regarding Corey Stringer, the lineman from the Minnesota Vikings who tragically died in a similar fashion some time ago. And, I think precautions are being taken, and sometimes, unfortunately,
it's just
things
not enough.
just happen. Yeah. But you hate to hear this wanted to acknowledge that.
Yes, and send our condolences out to him and his family. As we get ready to talk about high school football and whatnot, we want to make mention that the Sports Mix with Will Davis coming up right after our show every Tuesday and Thursday on WZYX 94.5 The Eagle. So if you are listening to 94.5, just keep listening. And if you're not, and you're not able to get them on the air, all you have to do is pull up the internet or your TuneIn radio app or whatever and just look up WZYXradio.net or WZYX on TuneIn. You can probably tell Alexa just to play WZYX and it'll work. I'll bet you. Bet you can do that.
Alexa's talented like that.
She is, in fact. Let's talk a little high school football, Mo, as Summertown, the Eagles, first-year coach Dakota Cruz. Curious how his first year is going to go offensively, as we've spoken to him a few times about this. I don't think you're going to see the offense he ran when he ran Mr. Football or won Mr. Football. I don't think you're going to see that one.
I don't think you're going to see that. You know, the former Lewis County Mr. Football, former assistant coach under Mr. Wing T himself, Bobby Sharp. But I don't think, as you said, Dakota Cruz necessarily holds to that offense, especially when you look at the pieces that he has to work with over there. I kind of refer to him as the triplets.
Yeah.
With the 6'5" quarterback, Colton Schaefer, and a couple of talented guys at running back in Javen Edmiston and Anakin Johnson. You know, you mentioned last week that Javen had been dealing with some tendonitis and was a little limited. I checked in with Dakota earlier this week because earlier today, just because I wanted to check on that. And he said that he is somewhat limited, but they are limiting him at this point.
Right.
He's fine. He can go. They just want to be smart with that.
Yeah, don't tire him out if you don't have to. It's practice. We talk about practice.
We are. There we go. Where's Allen Iverson when you need him? Yeah, we talking practice. Yeah, and you know, you're talking about a kid that's 6'1", 210, who you really need to have involved in this offense. And so
both sides of the ball, you've got to have him.
Yeah. I mean, running back, wide receiver, linebacker, a lot on both sides of the ball, like you said, is going to go through him. So they're really going to be smart with him. And the one thing that Dakota was saying that he was pleased with was that they have, in Javen's absence, as they were trying to be smart with that tendonitis, you know, it gave them some opportunity to rep some other guys and kind of build some depth. And that's something that he feels particularly pleased with, is the depth that they've built while Javen was on the sidelines getting mental reps. He said he's practicing without practice, and he specifically said that he has been in their defensive coordinator's hip pocket in particular when he was not, you know, either practicing or scrimmaging or whatever. And so they're really expecting big things out of him.
Yeah, you need to have a guy who is both, you know, which Colton also plays defense at the safety position a lot, but you need a quarterback of the defense, and that's typically the guy who is your middle linebacker. That's the guy who really runs your defense, right? And I don't know that Javen's going to be playing middle linebacker. He played a lot of corner last year, but he could play some outside linebacker. He could step in. I mean, he's a really big kid and strong.
He's a big athletic kid, and particularly at the Class 2A level, he's the type kid that can be a difference maker just from a physicality standpoint.
And so having him in the defensive coordinator's hip pocket, this is why we're doing this. This is what we want to see happen. He can convey that without even having to go to the sideline during a game now, because he's already heard that during practice. So that gives you an extra coach on the field, and that can be invaluable.
Absolutely.
So I look for him to be a big part of that defense as much as the offense, but also Anakin Johnson. Johnson is he's one of those Mike Allstott type guys, just big, burly, and gonna, hit you in the mouth every time he comes through the line, whether it's on offense or defense.
Yeah, really a tough kid. Really a physical kid. Maybe, not the type specimen necessarily that an Edmiston is, but definitely a physical specimen. A guy who can, do some damage between the tackles, that kind of thing. Really strong kid. Like you said, he'll be lining up at running back and at linebacker as well for them. So senior presence for all three of those guys. Johnson, Edmiston, Schaefer, kind of leading the way there with that bunch. So as they try to rebound from a 3-6 season where they started 3-0 and then
entered the AP top 10.
Yeah, got off to a great start with that win at Mount Pleasant, 13-12, and then they lost to Lewis County at home in region play and just never could really get it back together. And I think the pandemic probably took a toll on them as well. But
losing two opponents in a row and then having to pick up Donaldson Christian on a Thursday was brutal. I mean, that just really messes with your routine and everything that goes with it.
Yeah, and just a tough situation all the way around for them. They lost one ball game when they were trying to run out the clock and lost a fumble that Eagleville picked up and took the other way, I think, and just different things like that. Just a couple of tough breaks, but got a chance again in this revamped Region 5 2A where Mount Pleasant and Richland come up and Loretto is there and Cascade comes in from 4 2A, so kind of seeing some new faces there. They start August 20th at Lawrence County, and that's going to kind of be must-see TV down in that area. Is that correct, JP?
I think that's very accurate. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, these two, of course, the history, which you guys know, and some of our listeners probably know, Summertown, the first year they played at Lawrence County, and there was a nice little friendly competition of who had larger crowds.
Oh, I'm sure it was very friendly.
Yeah,
very
friendly.
Very amicable and everything.
So, yeah.
Everybody shook it. No trash talking.
None.
Because you didn't
That's
want
15
any,
yards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after the Lawrence County game, then they go on the road to Waynesboro, take on Wayne County over there on the 27th. Consecutive home games against region rival Richland and then Collinwood. They go to Forest.
Collinwood coming to town.
Yep.
Make a little star by that one. A little asterisk maybe. As former Summertown coach Leslie Moat will bring his Trojans over to Summertown. So, yeah.
Good catch there. They play at Forest on September 17th.
I imagine that game was scheduled before that happened. I don't know.
Wow. On September 24th, the Eagles were scheduled to play at Zion Christian.
They have yet to secure.
That game is not taking place, and we don't know what they're doing instead, if anything. On September 30th, Thursday night, the Pegasus Cup, as the Loretto Mustangs come to Summertown. They have a scheduled open date on October 8th. They finish up at home against Mount Pleasant, at home against Lewis County, and at Cascade. So,
yeah, this non-district schedule, they did a really good job putting this together with, obviously, you're going to play Lawrence County, but Wayne County and Collinwood, and then you've got that Lewis County, which, it's kind of a big deal there. I hope, if not this year, next year, I hope next year that Lewis County will do something to honor their
Mr. Football?
Their former hero.
Yeah.
Mr. Football Dakota Cruz.
Well, I tell you what, Bobby Sharp didn't honor him last fall, that's for sure. So.
He did not help that. Yeah, he certainly said, "Hey, Dakota, try and stop me."
Yeah.
And that's what he's going to do this year on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you, this team has an opportunity to be right there in the mix at the end of the year. I certainly expect Summertown, athletically, if they've got anything up front that is capable of keeping Colton Schaefer upright and maybe just a little crease for 24. I think they got a shot in this region to be at least number 2 or 3.
And this region, again, behind Forest, I think the other 3 playoff spots are up for grabs. So
I don't disagree at all. So
we'll see how that goes.
Certainly be interested. I certainly will be interested. So that's going to do it for this segment of high school football. As we continue our coverage, we will have Summit, and then we will – I guess that does it. I mean, we've already covered as much as we can with Zion Christian, and we will talk to Jeff Jordan tomorrow at 5:25.
Coach's Corner.
Coach's Corner will be he'll join us on the show, and he'll talk about the Jamboree from this past weekend, his upcoming week 1
season opener
on Friday night or Saturday for Zion Christian. So we'll talk about them as well. So there you go. We're going to take you to a break. When we come back, it's Top 5 Tuesday. We will count down our top 5. I'm going to say favorite, but also best broadcasters. It's not really a top 5 best list. It's more of a favorite. So stick around. You're going to want to hear it. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Be right back after this.
One-stop shopping. That's why so many people shop Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat of Columbia. As the number 1 volume CDJR dealer in Tennessee, we offer the largest selection of new Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler vehicles. And when you have the largest selection of new, you have the largest selection of used, too. Combine that with state-of-the-art, fast, accurate service, and you've got Tennessee's number 1 volume dealer. Shop online at Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Columbia.net. Middle Tennessee's Ram Truck and Jeep headquarters. You can count on us. Based on combined retail and fleet sales as reported by Chrysler in the state of Tennessee in 2019.
Hello, I'm Barbara Lincoln with Hollins Pharmacy. You may have heard our previous commercials about compression hosiery that we carry at Hollins Pharmacy. Well, we've recently expanded into a full line of knee braces, back, wrist, ankle, and other support wear. We will gladly help you get just the right fit for these items and, of course, special order items to ensure the proper fit. Come see us at Hollins Pharmacy, 1608 Hatcher Lane, or call us at 931-388-4233. 388-4233.
If you come to Arby's from 2 to 5 p.m., you can get sliders for $1. For another $1, you can get a small drink or fries or a snack shake. And for the low, low price of another $1, you can round out
6 for 6 was always one of my favorite. What was his name?
Oh, Jimmy Streeter.
No, the 98, 99 era. There was somebody else, and I can't remember who it was.
I can't
That's
either.
going
Yeah.
to make me mad. Anyway. All right. I'm absolutely, positively shocked. When I say shocked, I mean like I am in
shock.
Absolute. I can't
Shock.
tell
He's in
you
shock.
the level of shock that I am that this name has not been mentioned.
I'm shocked.
How did you have an entire list of honorable mentions and everybody else without saying, "Whoa, Nelly, Keith Jackson"?
I did. Those that aren't with us were MVPs of their time.
Yeah.
Keith Jackson and Dick Enberg and
Yeah,
Pat
but-
Summerall.
But he wasn't in your honorable mentions. He was just in the
Well,
the
in
credits.
memoriam.
That was the way that I could categorize everybody.
Yeah.
Keith Jackson's the greatest.
Oh.
He's pretty dang good.
He's the voice of college football team.
He is.
And always will be.
Yep.
So, there you go. That's going to do it for today's show. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. If you missed it, the podcast will be available at some point after we get back from the Columbia Central scrimmage tonight. We'll be heading over to Lindsey Nelson Stadium here momentarily. You can catch.
Don't go to Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Go to
it's
the
at
practice
the
field.
practice field. I'm sorry. Then we will be at the practice field. It's going to be fun. So hang out with us on. You can catch coverage on MainStreetPreps.com. There you go. All right, we will be back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Stick around for Will Davis and the Sports Mix Live on WZYX for Mo Patton and JP Plant. I'm Chris Yao saying have a great day and stay wild Winchester and stay cool Columbia. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Have a good